freaking leg day today. Okay, we're trying to get tree trunks like Tom Platts.
Now fight me. Kick me in the face. Get mad at me. Kill me.
We're doing 245.
I like to call leg day the way I do it, the old man leg day, because chances are you're going to be using only machines, resting a long time. You're going to be doing isolations primarily, and you're going to just try to get in and out of the gym. And with that said, that's pretty much what I do. All I focus on is training really hard, going really heavy, doing low volume, so 1 to 2 sets per movement, and I just try to progressively overload every week, and that's it.
All right, not gonna lie, boys, that actually moved extremely well. That's by far the best 245 has ever moved. That was exciting, actually. That was like an awesome PR.
By this point, you may be thinking, how did you get bigger legs without squatting? And my answer would be, it's actually because you don't have to squat. There's no rule that says you have to squat in order to grow big legs. And the only thing that makes squatting good is that you get high motor unit recruitment when you're pushing close to failure. Turns out there's other ways you can get that without squatting. Whoa. And there's even better ways to do it without squatting, because squatting requires balance, stability, and a lot of coordination. Man, what the heck? So you mean there's other things you could do? Yeah, of course there is. You just got to know what to do. And if you watch the rest of this video, you will know what to do.
I don't know how well you guys can see me, but we got some extra weight on here, about 400. So this will be a PR for calf raises on this machine. I'm excited to get my gym pin eventually, boys.
I mention this pretty much religiously on every leg day because a lot of people might say, oh, you're an ego lifter, you're doing half reps. But the calves have best leverage to produce force in the lengthened position, which means they get really high motor unit recruitment and are able to actually receive a great stimulus from training in the lengthened position. So you're going to see me spend the majority of my time in the bottom. They've even done studies where people pause in the bottom of a calf raise and see incredible growth. But people who do the more contracted positions or even full range of motion see less gains than people who focus pretty much exclusively in the lengthened position. So to standardize form, I recommend only going about halfway up, and you're going to make really good gains if you do that. Now, we're on to set 2. In the first set, I don't know if you guys could notice, but I wasn't able to get a full stretch on the movement. Now I am, because I put the notch a lot lower, which I think I'm probably going to mention later. But yeah, I put the notch really low, which turned it into kind of a squat in the beginning. But I'm cool with it as long as I'm getting a giant stretch and I'm actually holding on to the weight on the bottom and not just letting it on the machine. So yeah, calves are getting way bigger. They improved by about 3/4 of an inch since the summer, I believe. So definitely doing something right here.
Oh. All right, that set was 2 failure. That was really awesome. The notch was at a 2 to get a little bit of a bigger stretch. And it ended up working out because I was able to hold the weight in the bottom of that really, really well. And if any of you guys have watched me for a decent amount of time, you'll know that the calves have best leverage to produce tons of force in that lengthened position.
All right, now we move on to the adductor. And dude, your adductors have so much potential. Like, people don't realize how giant they are, how much weight they can move, especially on these machines. They're definitely a prime hip extensor, especially in the bottom of a squat or leg press or anything like that. I recommend adding weight to a full stack via the gym pin, just that way you can make this more loadable, and really any machine more loadable. So I recommend also getting the 10mm gym pins. That way it can actually fit the diameter of some of these hammer strength machines. Otherwise, it won't really fit and it'll slip out a lot like you see mine doing. Since mine's like a universal fit, it's a little bit looser. But yeah, if you get the 10mm, you won't have to worry about that. I got the 10mm Kingpin, which can fit up to 5 plates on it. Obviously, it depends on the thickness of the plates themselves, but I am so excited to load up an insane amount of weight.
Look at him while you can. He's getting deported next week.
Yeah.
Just gonna leave me hanging? Dang. Dang, you just left me hanging this whole time? Alright.
Obviously, you should be seeing progressive overload as feedback that your training is working, not as a stimulus in itself. And with that said, some of these movements that I've been doing haven't been overloading purely because I'm switching around the order all the time because I'm just being dumb. Don't be like me. keep the order the same for at least, a few months. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to do the exact same thing every single time if you can't, like if you're waiting on a machine or if the gym's super busy, whatever. But the thing about this is progressive overload is feedback, like I said. And if you're getting inaccurate feedback from every single workout because you're always switching around the order, like how I do a lot for some reason on leg day, which again, don't be like me, you're not going to know whether or not you're truly progressively overloading. Now, when you're doing this, everything's getting stronger at different rates instead of you prioritizing one thing and getting that thing really strong over time. So like if I always put leg extension first, then I'm going to get really strong at that, and I'm going to get predictably really strong at that, right? And I'll be able to look back and say, hey, 6 months ago, I was able to do half the stack with one leg at first in the workout. So all the variables are the same. And now 6 months later, I'm able to do the full stack with one leg. So that's an excellent data point to look at and say, hey, I actually have gotten stronger. I have progressively overloaded, and I've seen meaningful growth in my quads. If you're actually taking measurements, I'm almost certain that your quads would be bigger if you went from half the stack to the full stack. Mine certainly got bigger. So apply that to everything, man. Like if you really want to grow your hamstrings, put them first in the workout. If you really want to grow your adductors, put them first. Now, something that I'm trying to understand lately that I don't fully understand is that lengthened position movements are much more fatiguing than shortened position movements. It's something related to calcium ion fatigue, which is a very nerdy term, I know, but I'm learning about all this stuff right now. And with that said, it's safe to say that you're much better off putting shortened position movements earlier on in your workouts and, obviously keeping your workouts consistent, I would say even above that, because if you're not keeping your workouts consistent, yes, you may still be growing, but you're not going to get accurate information and be able to tell if what you're doing is working. So again, to reiterate that, really, really important. Now to talk about my physique, dude, I gotta be brutally real with you guys. I had a pretty crazy cheat meal tonight, which was unfortunate. I mean, yes, you have cheat meals every now and again, right? But I had a bunch of random chocolate, and then I had a giant, container filled with chili, and I had all these freaking Takis with buffalo dip and jalapeno poppers, and it was just a total mess. Like, I'm low-key very disappointed in myself because I'm trying to commit to the cut, so feel free to roast me in the comments and try to hold me accountable. And, I don't mean to use this as an excuse or a cop-out, but I'm not prepping for a show, so it's not like I badly messed up, but I really do believe that it is better for overall muscle growth and hormone production and everything to be leaner. Obviously, up to a certain point, there's diminishing returns on it, just like anything else. But yeah.
All right. If you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to do all 3 things every YouTuber asks you to do.
Listen to Max Sharkey's advice and subscribe to him.